to talk about the pros and cons. Pro, there haven't been too many sports fandom movies out lately, so I thought this was a somewhat original story, and it was interesting how Robert kind of took this loser type of character and glorified him, and even though he kind of didn't want really anything out of his life, he had something to live for, which is sports, and it was a true fandom experience. Um, Now, is it realistic or unrealistic? That's kind of hard to say because can you really be happy going to jail, fighting for your team or because the next season's coming up? I mean, it's. And would you really drop everything if, the star player of your team beat you up? I'm not quite sure if that's quite realistic, but um, I guess I can't quite judge. But the narrative had holes. Like the lawsuit with Quantrell Bishop, that was not even brought up. $77 million lawsuit, that's a big deal. You don't just leave that out of the rest of the story. Or, did the friend that saw the beating tell the cops, or what was going on with that? There's just a few questions in the film that could have been answered that I think should have been focused on more. We kind of talked about this in class after we watched the movie, and we were wondering if Paul's character is believable or not. That is really wanting nothing out of life possible. So I think he had a lack of development on some respects because he didn't really start somewhere and end somewhere so much as he continued to love his team no matter what, which I guess is a big part of the story, the lack of development almost. So that was interesting. I feel like some of the other characters in the film could have been played up a little more. I really liked Paul's mother. I liked that she saved Chinese food packets, and I liked that she yelled at him through the wall every time he went on the phone. Except I kind of would have liked to have known a little bit more about her, or a little bit more about the classic Staten Island family. It's easy. Better than most really extremely rocky handheld mumblecore films we've seen lately. Uh, he said that he didn't have a dolly, so most of everything was handheld and shot on a tripod because it was a low budget film. The lighting was nice, and someone brought it up in class too that there was kind of a red and blue pigmentation of a lot of the shots, which I realized when I was watching a couple of the clips online again. Um, so it really plays off the Giants' kind of team colors a little bit, so that helps. It's a good little touch. Robert said he was a fan of movies about outsiders, kind of like 70s cinema stuff. He was a sports fan as a kid, so that's kind of where the genesis started to come from, and he listened to the radio about sports growing up, and it's cool. He wanted to make a movie about fandom. I thought it was really cool that this film was shot in 15 days. That's really, maybe to me, I mean, that seems really short. And it was so low budget that it was impressive to me. I would like to know what the exact budget of the film was, but I liked it overall.